I am Takhilam Ibol Singh, lecturer in geography. I am teaching geography in class 11 and 12 standard. Today, I am going to give the lecture on the topic human activities. As you know that human activities are nothing but they are the activities of the people attaining the age of 15 to 59 years of age, relating to their survival. In other words, human activities are those activities of economically active population. Therefore, these activities are very much related to their survival or for getting earning. Next, human activities can be classified or can be recognized into 5 categories as of now. The first one, primary human activities. Second, secondary human activities. Next, tertiary human activities. The fourth one, quaternary human activities. The last one, quinary human activities. Let me explain in detail each of these 5 activities of man. Let us study the first one, primary human activities. Primary human activities are nothing but those activities that man perform relating to meet, in order to meet the primary needs of our life or the basic necessities of life, say for example, food, clothes and shelter. These primary activities are mainly performed with the help of nature and natural things. In other words, those human activities or those human economic activities that have directly related to that nature, that is called primary human activities. Say for example, agriculture, that is hunting, lumbering, pitching, mining and gathering. All these activities cannot perform without nature and natural things. Next, secondary activities. Those human activities by which we can transform primary products obtained from primary activities to secondary products, that is value added finished product. It includes wide range of manufacturing industries. The third human activities is tertiary activities. Tertiary activities are those human activities that can provide service of different kinds to our people. Actually, tertiary activities is also known as service activity. These activities do not produce things directly as we have in the case of primary and secondary. Primary and secondary activities have their own products, but in the case of tertiary activity, there is no product. The fourth one is quaternary activities. Quaternary activities and quinary activities, in fact, they are the advanced and the developed form of tertiary activities. Let me explain here in Manipuri also, so that some section of the student can grasp my lecture. Quaternary amasung quinary activities haibasidi tertiary activities ki khara hena chawkhatpa makhal gi service makhal amane. Actually, quaternary activities are those services or those activities that rendered by professional workers like teachers, doctor and scientists. They are actually a knowledge-based activity and focus on research and development. The last human activity that we need to study is quinary activities. Quinary activities are nothing but all those human activities center around the creation, rearrangement, interpretation of new and existing ideas. Actually, these quinary activities are provided by highest level decision maker and policy maker. After explaining these 5 categories of human activities so far. Let me explain the first primary activities and its evolution. As we know that human being has been rendering primary activities ever since man appeared on this earth as a living element. In other words, primary human activities has evolved 3 distinct stages. They are foraging, pastoralism, and last one is agriculture. Foraging represents the first stage of primary human activities. It refers to human economy based on hunting, gathering, and fishing. In other words, foraging is an activity or is an economy based on wild forest products. In that economy, people did not domesticate animals and plants. Instead, they collected, they hunted, as well as also gathered some wild products such as leaves, twigs, roots, bark to meet bar needs of their life. In other words, foraging, the past stage of the evolution of primary human activity, is mainly confined in wild forest products. In that economy, people used to hunt, gather, and collect it. Sometimes they also undertook fishing in limited scales. In that society, people used to kill wild animals by using primitive tools. Large-scale hunting in that society had made some animals extinct or endangered. Therefore, hunting was declared as illegal activity and also banned in most countries of the world. In the meantime, the people who live in this foraging economy, they also undertook gathering activities. They used to gather wild forest products, as I told you just now, to meet their basic needs of life, that is food, cloth, and shelter. But the gathering in that stage was based on subsistence basis. But today also, the gathering is also carried on in several parts of the world. Ngasi maksu prithibigi tongan mafamsingsda gathering haiba thawongse adumak chathari. But modern gathering was done or is going on commercial basis. Actually, it is market-oriented gathering. It means that the people who gather valuable forest products, this is such as that is fruit, medicinal plants, and edible plants also. They sold this product to the market, and the money so obtained, they used to purchase in their other needs. Therefore, gathering today is market-oriented or commercial basis. Next comes to then pastoralism. Second stage of the evolution of primary human activity is pastoralism. Pastoralism actually refers to those economy based on domesticated animals. With the advent of this second stage, men began to domesticate animals as their own in order to meet their basic needs of life, food, cloth, and even shelter. That means people in that pastoralism use animal products as their food, as their clothes, for their shelter. Therefore, pastoralism also has done in 2 types. The first one is nomadic pastoralism or pastoral nomadism. The second is commercial livestock farming. Pastoral nomadism is the type of economy based on domesticated animals. In that economy, people domesticate animals based on natural grasses only. People who practice pastoralism do not get a settled life because they live in an environment which is quite hospitable to our survival. Therefore, nomadic pastoralism or pastoral nomadism is mainly carried on in tropical rainforest area where grasses are scattered here and there amidst the forest, and also even in high altitude zone. In pastoral nomadism, the nomadic tribe do not live in settled life. Instead, they keep on changing their place from one to another along with their herd they domesticated. Haibadi, pastoral nomadism haiba activities asibu paikhatliba tribesing adudi mafam amada tangdu laitana leite maramdi makoina lairiba mafam adugi environment se settle life habi tangdu laitana laibada adugi matik khudong sade aduna makoina loiriba sasing aduga loinana mafam amadagi mafam amada kochat chatkane. But the distance and the direction of the changing of nomadic tribe depends on the availability of grasses and water. Haibadi nomadic tribe since na makoina loiriba sa sing aduga mafam amadagi mafam amada satpagi maikai makoina satkadruba maikai as well as kayam sangna satkadabano haibase karigna lepke haitadi makoina loiriba sa sing adugi masinjak oina siznagruba sajik amasung ising pangbasna lepane. Ningtham thagi matamda during winter they come down the valley along with their animals. When the mountain slopes are covered with frozen ice, in that area, especially in mountainous slope, there is a scarcity of fodder due to the frozen ice. During summer, when frozen ice in that mountain becomes free, they again move up to the mountain slope along with their animals because there is a plentiful availability of grasses in the mountainous area. This seasonal movement or the vertical movement amongst the nomadic tribe along with the changing season is called transhumance. Particular group of nomadic tribe occupies a well-identified territory as a matter of their traditions. They rear or domesticated different types of animals in different parts of the world based on the available or prevailing environmental conditions. Say for example, in tropical regions, cattle are mainly reared or domesticated. In Sahara and Asiatic desert, the male animals they rear are, that is horse, camels, goats, and sheep. In Arctic and some Arctic region, reindeer is the important animals they rear. In this way, they live in that environment. But for the last many years, or for the last many decades, there was no political fixation or political boundary on the life of nomadic tribe or pastoral nomads. The United Nations was also permitted to move or to cross this tribe even international boundary because they live in the area where environmental conditions become harsh. But with the increasing of political tension or with the emergence of political tension or class amongst the different countries in the world, the number of nomadic tribes as well as the area operated has been shrinking in recently because of the following two reasons. The first reason is imposition of political boundary upon the nomadic tribe. It means that nomadic tribe today are not allowed to cross international boundary. The second point, the development plans for their settled life taken by different countries of the world. Because of this important, that is the conditions imposed upon them, the number and area of nomadic tribe has reduced today. There are two important areas of nomadic tribes. Number one, the first region which is known as the core region, extending from the Atlantic shore of North Africa, across the Arabian Peninsula up to Mongolia and central China. This is the first region which is known as the core region where pastoral nomadisms are confined. The second is the northern part of Eurasia. Eurasia means Europe plus Asia. The extreme north of these two different continents are also the natural habitat of this nomadic tribe. Next, let me explain the second type of pastoralism, what we call commercial livestock farming. Commercial livestock farming means the rearing of animal based on commercial basis. In other words, animals are reared only for profit, not for our consumption. These types of farming is mainly practiced in temperate grassland area and or temperate zones where grassland are found extensively. In that area or in this type of pastoralism, animals are reared in an organized manner and scientific way in a fixed holding and permanent ranch houses. It is actually capital intensive type of pastoralism. It means that heavy capital investment is demanded or is required for construction of buildings and other machines so that we can produce or we can make high quality product of this animal in order to export in international market. In the case of commercial livestock farming, modern technology is highly required in the sense that greater emphasis or greater importance is laid on breeding, genetic improvement, disease control, and healthcare facilities to be provided for that animals we rear. In these types of farming or in these types of pastoralism, animals do not depend only natural grasses, but further crops are also grown extensively by the farmers. The grasses or the grassland areas where they graze is divided into a number of parcels by making bamboo fence in order to regulate the grazing. The number of animals to be grazed on its ranches depends on the carrying capacity of that ranch. The commercial livestock farming is mainly involved in the rearing of such animals, that is sheep, that is goat, cattle. The products of these animals in the form of milk, meat, wool, and skin are exported at national or international market in order to get profit. There are 5 important areas across the world where commercial livestock farming is mainly carried on. The first one is awang America amasung Canada ka tainaba sarukta lairiba chaukraba grassland area madu akhona kari hana khangnage hatari prairies hana khangnei prairies ki jaga se America amasung awang America amasung Canada gi khwaidagi maroiba jaga amani karamba commercial livestock farming se paksna paikhatpa mafam number 1 anisubada South America gi Brazil amasung Argentina ga tainaba jaga da leriba pampas hana khangnariba grassland asina prithvi gi anisuba maroina America gi anisuba commercial livestock farming sathaba mafam ne ahum subasna South Africa gi belt aina khangnaba mafam asidana in Eurasia there is one important grassland area which is known as steppe. In Australia there is one more grassland area where that is commercial livestock farming is mainly carried on, that is down. These are the important area where commercial livestock farming is mainly carried on all over the world. Next come to the next means the third stage of the evolution of primary human activity is agriculture. Agriculture refers to and it may be the growing of or the cultivation of plants. In other words, it is an economy based on plants. With the development of the art of agriculture, man began to get a settled life. Agriculture is very important primary human activities and also represent the last phase to the development and evolution of primary activities. It can provide food and other needs to almost all population, all people of the world. It is estimated that more than 65% of the world population depends on agriculture for their own survivals. Based on the method of cropping or based on the method of the cultivation of crop, we can classify agriculture into two. The first one is subsistence agriculture. The second is commercial agriculture. Let me explain something about subsistence agriculture. Subsistence agriculture is a type of agriculture or is a type of farming where farmers grow crops for their own subsistence. In other words, subsistence agriculture is the agriculture where the farmer grow the crops in order to meet his family demand. It means that the crops grown by the farmers are consumed by the farmer themselves. But the agricultural activities in the case of subsistence farming, most of the agricultural activities starting from the plowing of the fields up to the harvesting of crop. Subsistence farming hariba lau makal sidadi laumi singsna hello khoiba dagina mahi morong lok pa phawba se thaina ahalaman singnai pai pusna satharamba sizinaramba makal gi lau pathap amasung khuchukulai singi mateng na paikit kane maram maduna lau singubagi potoki chang se ka hena putopangam de. The cropping pattern is also dominated by food crops. It means that in the case of subsistence farming, the types of crops grown by the farmer are mainly of food crops, not cash crops, because this crop can meet the demand of the farmers. Further, there are two types of subsistence farming. In other words, subsistence farming can be studied into two types. The first one is primitive subsistence farming. The second is intensive subsistence farming. The explanation of these two types of farming, I have just mentioned here, will be rendered delivered to all of you in the next class. For today, yes, I am going to stop on this part. Thank you.